If Marv Albert only knew
For three for the win. Yes!
that they'd be shooting threes at the rate they do. Welcome to Z's and Threes. Rest in peace to Leah. Before we get started, thank you so much for joining me. Tyler Denning, Z's and Threes, your daily fast break assist for all things NBA. Here to wrap up Monday night in the association. 6 games were played. We will take you through 2 thrillers, one in Motown, one in Sacktown, the other 4 games as well for the teams that were in action. We will also set our sights forward to the Tuesday night NBA Cup final matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder and give you one thing to look forward to for both teams and what I think will determine that NBA Cup final matchup. So let's get you caught up on everything Monday night in the NBA. But before we do, if you like the show, please do like and subscribe. Group chat game of the night. Let's take you to the D. Heat, Pistons, Detroit. As when these two get together, it is always classics, and that's why it is this show's group chat game of the night. The last meeting was an overtime cup group game, the one in which, if you recall, Erik Spoelstra, head coach of the Miami Heat, called a timeout when he did not have one. It was a technical foul. It was a 40-point Tyler Herro game, the second highest of his career, that Detroit ended up winning. The Heat's only lead in this game in regulation was at 3-0. The Pistons' biggest lead was 19 early in the fourth quarter. Tyler Herro, though, once again cooked late, 13 points in the fourth, including the game-tying 3 to send it to overtime. The Heat end regulation on a 26-7 run, a 37-17 Miami fourth period. And the Heat would finally take the lead. So that is a wild lead swing alert as they open on an 8-0 run. But Tim Hardaway Jr., whose pops played for the Miami Heat, had something to say about it. 3 consecutive threes from Timmy Hardaway Jr., a 9-0 Pistons run. They tied a season high for made threes, did the Pistons. They went 20 of 40 from deep. Yet another team shooting 50% from deep. See, sometimes it's just good shooting. How about this sequence, though? After that 9-0 run that put the Pistons up 1, Jimmy Butler loses his shoe during the sequence of a play. His left kick is gone, and he gets a rebound and a putback after a Bam Adebayo miss that puts the Heat up 1. Cade Cunningham comes back down, makes a layup as the Pistons go back up 125-124. After a Tyler Herro miss, Pistons turnover on the inbounds. Tim Hardaway Jr. just throws it right to Herro. So the Heat have the ball, timeout, 9.4 left, down 1. It was a rainbow pass inbounds to Butler. He's fouled. It's non-shooting. The Heat get another chance. Herro from deep. No good. Pistons win. Pistons win. Jimmy trade rumor mill Butler, who's been playing well lately. Trade stock is high. Season high in points, rebounds, and assists. 35, 19, and 10. But it was a career best night. 18 assists for Cade Cunningham, his 6th triple-double of the season. He has the 3rd most triple-doubles in the NBA, 20, 11, and 18. Pistons win 125-124. They close on an 11-2 run. Give me 7 games between these two teams. They have played 2 classics, 2 of the best games thus far this season. So let's go from up top on the Canadian border and talk about a Canadian playing out west. Nuggets, Kings. Jamal Murray, who has been off to a rough start for the Nuggets. Champions 2 years ago. I think a lot of people have had questions about the Murray contract he signed in the offseason. Had a dismal performance for Canada in the Olympics. But this game tonight was a thriller. The Nuggets 8-0 when they win the first quarter. They score 41 in the opening frame to the Kings 21. So that's usually good news for the Denver Nuggets. Would it be tonight? Absolutely not. A wild lead swing alert. The Kings wrestle back control after a 47-34 second, a 35-21 third. They lead by 7 points hitting the fourth quarter. Their biggest lead would be 10. But a 13-3 Nuggets run starting at the 3:55 mark makes it a 1-point Nuggets lead, 123-122, 75 seconds left. Go pull up the highlights from this game. I will repost it. I'll leave a link down below for those of you watching on YouTube, because what a 75 seconds it was. De'Aaron Fox made jumper. Sacramento up 1. Murray comes back down, made jumper. Denver up 1. Fox comes back down, made 3. Sacramento's up 2. Jokic off a Murray assist, made 3. Denver up 1. DeMar DeRozan catches the Denver defense sleeping, dunks. Sacramento up 1. Timeout Denver. 20.5 seconds left in the game. Denver ball. Jamal Murray working the two-man game with Nikola Jokic. Cash money for the Canadian. Denver up 1. Timeout Sacramento. 8.6 seconds left in the ball game. Sacramento ball. De'Aaron Fox has it. Gets it to Sabonis. Tries to pass it over to DeRozan, who initially fumbles it, regathers, tries a tough fadeaway for the win. No good. Denver wins 130-129. A 15-point fourth quarter for Jamal Murray. He goes 5 of 7 from the field, including 3 of 3 from 3. 28 points in the game. It ties his season high. Running mate Nikola Jokic had 20, 14, and 13. De'Aaron Fox had a game-high 29. Personally, for Sacramento, I wanted to see Fox have the opportunity to take the final shot. But Denver moves to 14-10 on the season. They are 5-2 in three-point games. They have won now 3 in a row. Sacramento falls to 13-14, 2-5 in three-point games. Don't know if that seat for Mike Brown is getting a little toasty, but eyes on Sacramento as the trade line continues to loom. But a thriller in Sacramento to go along with the great one that we saw in Detroit. Let's get you caught up on the other 4 games tonight. 2 wild lead swing alerts, not so much in these other contests. Cavs, Nets, the top team in the league, the Cleveland Cavaliers, record-wise, playing in the home of Notorious B.I.G. The Cavs, 8-3 on the road this season, and they do get number 9. They took the lead midway through the first, ballooned it to 37 at one point, win by 29. Every player that entered the game for the Cavs scored. They had 7 players in double figures. Evan Mobley had 21, returning after that one-game absence in their win over Washington. The Cavaliers continue to pace the league in wins, 23 to their 4 losses. Sixers, Hornets, this one a battle of the injury-hampered teams on the season. The Hornets get LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and both their centers, Mark Williams and Nick Richards, back for this game. It is the first time that they had the full roster as intended starting-wise on the season. It did not last the whole game. Brandon Miller hit the locker room, unfortunately, an ankle injury in the fourth quarter, so we will wait to see the reporting on Brandon Miller, who's been having such a good season in this Hornets team that has just been swamped by injuries. But no pity from the Sixers as they have battled their own. No Embiid, no McCain for the Sixers, and it was no problem. Tyrese Maxey's second best scoring game of the season, dumps in 40. He had it on 12 of 28 shooting, 6 made threes, and also a season best 33 from Paul George. The Sixers score a season best 120 and lead for all but a smidge in the opening minutes. LaMelo had 15 points on 5 of 15 shooting with 11 assists, 24 for Miles Bridges. The Sixers 8-16, a .333 win percentage. That is a big hole. But the good news, they are 6-4 over their last 10 contests. Charlotte, they are 1-9 over their last 10, fall to 7-19. Bulls Raptors, you see the score to my left. Don't let it deceive you. Chicago fighting to stay above that cut line for the play-in as trade rumors swirl. They led by 16 early in the fourth, but the Raptors did cut it to 1 at one point. Kobe White hit a 3. Lonzo Ball 3 gave the Bulls some cushion. Talen Horton-Tucker made free throws that cut the lead, or had the lead, boost the lead to 4 as a half-court Jamal Shed heave made it look like it was a 1-point game. 24 from Vucevic, 8, 6, and 7 from Lonzo Ball, his best game since coming back from those 15 games missed. 35, 5, and 9 from RJ Barrett. The Bulls win 122-121. They are now 12-15, tied for 8th. The Raptors fall to 7-20. A couple of guys get hurt in this game as well. Jakob Poeltl left the game with a groin injury, and Josh Giddey left as well for the Bulls. Jazz Clippers. Bad news for the Clippers. They're on a 3-game slide. The good news? Well, the Jazz are in LA, and it was an 81-47 first half for the LA Clippers. James Harden had 36 points in the first half on 7 of 10 made threes. He had 41 points in the game on 31 minutes played, his second most points of the season. He had 43 earlier this season on 31 minutes played against Washington. Make no mistake, folks, Harden can still cook and score with the best of them, as he has done throughout his career. The Clippers go 13 of 20 from range in the first half, but they have a season high in three-point makes and a season high in points with 6:28 left in the game. 144 they dump into the 107 for the lowly Jazz. So that is the 6 games that happened. Heavy pour leading scorer of the night. It was James Harden with his 41. Dunk of the night, Julian Phillips, the Chicago Bulls. He had a nice lane runner riser. For the Duncan performance of the night, I'm going to give it to the Detroit Piston, Cade Cunningham, with his 20, 11, and 18. Impressive when you set a career best for assists, and you get a dub over the Heat. Stat of the night, we're going to show some more love to Mr. James Harden. 10th time in Harden's career, he has scored 34-plus in the first half. It is the second most for a player since 96-97, trailing just Kobe Bryant, who did it 12 times. I'm not trying to put a bookend on James Harden's career, but I think as of now, he is the best player to have never won a ring. I'm going to go out there with that. Maybe it's just recency bias, but James Harden peak, that man could score, and he's still doing it. So Harden is definitely in that conversation, but for me, I'm going to put him to the top of the list. So that is all the games and all the action you need from Monday night in the association. NBA Cup final. Just one game in the association tomorrow night. All eyes will be on Sin City, Las Vegas, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo taking on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the West-leading Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's go through a tale of the tape right quick. Offensive rating for OKC, 8th. Milwaukee, 11th. Net, OKC is 1st. Milwaukee is 14th, as the Thunder have the top defensive rating in the league. Milwaukee is 13th. Oklahoma City is 1st in the West with a record of 20-5. Milwaukee 5th in the East at 14-11. Here's my one question and my key. Big games, big players. Yes, the others have to do their part. We know that. But the best guy in a game like this has to say, come on, I'm taking us to the top of the mountain. And this game features the NBA's 2 leading scorers. How? Well, SGA leads in total points. He has 757 points on the season thus far. Giannis has 752. But Giannis leads in points per game, averaging 32.7. So it's really just whichever way you prefer to slice it. Let's start with Oklahoma City. And my one question, what is the defensive game plan for Giannis? Hartenstein, you figure, goes on Brook Lopez. But Lopez can stretch the floor. If he draws him out, there's no rim protection. So who do you put if you're OKC and task with guarding Giannis? Against Dort, J-Dub, I don't know, the physicality of Dort is there, and 6'6" with Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub. But do you risk either of those players, especially Jalen Williams, your second leading scorer, getting into foul trouble? The Bucks, 9th best team in the NBA at drawing fouls. The Thunder foul at the 6th highest clip. Giannis, no one has attempted more free throws on the season, 262. That's 42 more than second place Anthony Davis. But yet he is shooting a career worst 61.5% from the stripe. Defensively, you look at OKC, Alex Caruso, Hartenstein, J-Dub, and SGA are their 4 best defenders metrically. And none of those, in my opinion, are appealing matchups on Giannis. So it begs the question, Do you just let Giannis, if you're OKC, and you minimize everybody else? I had said for the matchup against Atlanta, Giannis alone won't beat you. Lillard usually is going to score well, but it's the Portis, Lopez, Green making the difference between the Bucks winning and losing. So how does Oklahoma City decide to defensively approach Giannis? They are not the stoutest team. If they had Chet Holmgren, sure, but this is why they went out and they got Isaiah Hartenstein. So that is my key and my one question for OKC. For Milwaukee, well, this is pretty easy. What's the defensive game plan for SGA? As I said, the NBA's leading scorer in total points with his 757. This is how he does it. So if you look here to my right, if you're listening on pod, you're definitely missing out. Go over to YouTube while you're there, like and subscribe. This is a heat map for the scoring of SGA. And obviously, it is red hot in the painted area. This is where the man likes to eat. He also likes to shoot threes from the left extended wing above the break. But let's focus on the painted area because that's where Milwaukee is strong. Lopez and Giannis, the two best defenders for Milwaukee. They are the fourth best team, the Bucks, at defending from 5 feet and in terms of field goal percentage. Opponent shooting 60.1. You extend that out to 5 to 9 feet, the Bucks are the third best team in the league. So my question for Milwaukee is, you don't want Damian Lillard matched up on SGA. Who will it fall to? Andre Jackson Jr., Taurean Prince. When SGA inevitably gets by his defender, who will be there for the Bucks? Well, you would figure it's going to be Giannis and Lopez. Can SGA find a way to feast in the lane? Well, he's made a pretty good MVP case of doing it so far this year. For the Bucks, can they defend that painted area without fouling? Saturday's game, SGA shot 15 free throws. He made 14. Oklahoma City doesn't shoot a ton of free throws, but SGA does. He is third amongst all players in free throws attempted, and he makes them at an 86.4% clip. So the rim protection of the painted area, whomever wins that battle, in my opinion, wins the game. Usually happens that way. You may say, whoa, geez, whoop-de-doo, PhD in basketballnomics, but I think it's simple for this one. Oklahoma City, the best field goal percentage defense, less than 5 feet from the rim. This is why they are so good. But Chet Holmgren was a huge part of that in these numbers. They defend to a 57.4% clip. Like I said, Milwaukee's the fourth best at 60.1. So these are two good rim defending teams. It's not so rosy for the Thunder when you move it out. 5 to 9 feet, the Thunder fall to 18th in the league. That's where Giannis has been succeeding this year. And I will show you. Look here. Okay, Giannis is screen left with more of the red outside of the three, obviously. SGA is on the right, broken down into more zones as he scores from more areas. But what I would like you to focus on for Giannis is outside of the key, inside of the three. That's a lot of green in there for Giannis. As we've talked about prior, Giannis is shooting his career best from the mid-range. The man has not shot under 50% in a game. There's a lot of green in that protection circle, but he's also doing it from other levels. For SGA, you see where he does it, but he likes to get into that 5 to 9 foot free throw inside to do his scoring, along with getting to the cup and where he makes his threes from the left wing above the break. So this is what to watch in the NBA Cup Championship in Las Vegas. I'm not making a prediction. My prediction was the Mavs would win, but Oklahoma City has knocked them out. But this should be a treat. The two best scorers in the league right now, they do it where it's easiest, that is closest to the basket, and whomever can do it more effectively on Tuesday night will be the NBA Cup champions. Injuries and news coming out Monday. Chris Middleton missed practice in Las Vegas for the Bucks because of a reported illness. He's played in just 4 games this season, averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So the Bucks have done it for the most part without a key piece to their championship run. Remains to be seen if he is good to go. They also practiced without Damian Lillard, who said he had, quote, a little irritation with his calf. Sometimes he starts panicking, end quote, ending with I'm playing. So Lillard will definitely be a go for the Bucks. Remains to be seen what they get from Middleton, if anything, if he can go. News on Joel Embiid. It is a right sinus fracture. He is out, did not play tonight. You obviously know that. He will be reevaluated in 1 week. And this last piece, good news. You see to my right, the news release from the San Antonio Spurs. There is word on Spurs head coach Greg Popovich. No word as to his return, but he seems to be in good spirits. If you read down at the bottom, it says, no one is more excited to see me return to the bench than the talented individuals who have been leading my rehabilitation process. They've quickly learned that I'm less than coachable. So great to see Popovich in his good spirits, and we hope to see him back on the San Antonio Spurs bench very soon. House shoes, kick check before we get started. Some New Balance 990 V6s. Let's talk about what's at stake in Las Vegas, because ultimately it is nothing other than an NBA Cup trophy and an NBA Cup banner that the Lakers put up. I'm sure many look at crypto.com and say, where's the in-season tournament banner? But what is at stake is something of meaning for the players. The winning players will get, ready, $514,971,000. Yes, $500,000, over $500,000. The losing players will get nearly $250,000, $205,988 smackaroonies. So there's definitely something at stake for these players. Giannis, Lillard, Middleton, Lopez, SGA, and Hartenstein, those players, the 6 together, they average making $443,000 per game. So that is over if they were to win their average per game. Now, reminder, the NBA Cup final, this is the only game out of the Cup whole tournament that does not count for anything to the records. That's why we have the unbalanced schedules that come out after the elimination round, and why there are games added with teams playing unbalanced opponents. We saw it last night as teams from the West and East will play an unbalanced number of games given how the elimination bracket breaks down. So this NBA Cup game, what does it count for? Well, it counts for money for the players. So I had postulated at the start of the show, do you NBA fans personally care about NBA players making more money? Do you care about the cup and what it means if your franchise were to potentially win? Lakers fans, where you at? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys talk about your in-season tournament victory last year in Las Vegas? Does it take any sort of sting off how the season ends at the end if you say, well, we won the in-season tournament or the NBA Cup at least? The money isn't lost on the players. Bobby Portis, AJ Green, Giannis all saying they don't take it lightly regardless of how much they are making. Bobby Portis talking about that's a lifetime's worth of salary from where he is from. AJ Green's not even making that much on the season. Well, I think he's making $2 million, but this would be substantial. But my point being here in house shoes is that we have to make the NBA Cup count for something for the fans at home, because yes, I want to watch good basketball tomorrow night. And there has been a lull for me. It has been hard to go from NBA Cup games that seem to have more juice and more meaning to just the old regular season games. I have presented solutions. Like I said, here at Z's and Threes, we are solution oriented. We are not just presenting problems. I think that the Cup season should stretch longer. Teams should play every team once. That's one go round in the league, 29, and then I think you should do at least 16 teams that go to Las Vegas and make it more of an NBA winter league in Las Vegas. That would attract fans and give us better environment, as it remains to be seen what the environment looks like tomorrow. Remember, last year, it was a pretty good environment because the Lakers were playing for the tournament title, not called the Emirates Cup yet. So it's for all the monies, but does that mean enough for you as an NBA fan? Well, yeah, we will be watching, but is it any sort of validation if your team wins the NBA Cup? Let me know in the comments. That is it for the 6-game slate on Monday night. Pretty good for just one game between two teams with non-losing records. It was great up in Detroit. I enjoy watching those Pistons play. Like I said, I'm not a Detroit fan, but I'm a fan of Detroit. You got me? All right, Tuesday night, we've got you all set up. That's why we stay with the Cup background for the sign-off, as it will be NBA Cup, Emirates NBA Cup championship game at T-Mobile Arena in Sin City. The Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Who you got? Let me know in the comments. I gave you a full breakdown. We will see if I know anything about basketball as to how that game plays out on Tuesday night. As always, Z's and Threes, we'll be back to recap it for you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please do share with a friend, like and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.